Hello everyone, I'm Thelma sitting in the sunlight in the front garden of Calyx, Gardening with Calyx. You're welcome here in the garden at any time, but in this video, I particularly wish to share with you what's going on in the garden exactly 1 year after Hurricane Beryl came through. There are sections that are doing wonderfully, and yet there are other sections that are still in the process of recovery. What I'm going to do is take you through the various stages. I've sectionalized it. There are 5 sections, and so that you can follow better, I'm going to show you the various sections in this overhead photograph that I took not so long ago. So please come along. I am sure you're ready to get started, but for a few of you who may be visiting the garden for the first time with us, let me just give you a little bit of background. The Calyx garden is approximately 1/3 of an acre. It's situated on a rather steep hillside. Let me tell you, this is a hillside garden. The home, which is I estimate to be about 75 years old, is an old traditional Jamaican home. It is situated in the middle of the lot. So we garden around the home. And as far as the layout of the garden, the entrance is a rather narrow strip, and we just put a few trees there, a few flowers, and from there we generally take a few stairs up to the largest of the sections, the front garden, which is the feature of this video, then up some steps to the side section, the southern side, and that is these areas are more functional. We do some research, we do a lot of our own home production, and from the peak at the the southern side, we then take another step, a few steps down back to the front. And the section that I'm dealing with today is the area where we concentrate most of the horticultural activities. The others are the crop production, the agronomic side, which really is my true calling. So without further ado, let me just show you the schematic or the photograph of the front garden, which I took from this location, so we can easily position you as we start the tour. The first stop would be down the bottom here, where we have a series of newly installed mixed beds. And from there, we're going to take you across the front section of the garden to the what we call the cozy corner. Right next to the cozy corner are the focal beds, and from there we will take another detour down to the eastern area that has a fair number of fruit trees. Once we finish that, we will take you back up the top where there's a series of overlapping tropical shrubs which serve as excellent windbreak. Now that you're better positioned in the garden, it's time for us to start the tour, and we're going to be heading down this narrow, winding pathway to the first stop, which is at the bottom of the boundary, where we have a series of beds that need a little bit more time to recover. So come along, but be careful, this place could be treacherous. Although this is a rocky and very windy section of the garden, we had established sufficient windbreaks consisting of a really thick bougainvillea hedge as well as fruit trees in front of the hedge, so that we had a lovely protected microclimate in which the anthuriums thrived. That is, until the hurricane came through and removed much of our windbreak and sunlight protection. Anthuriums were almost obliterated. They definitely were not happy to be exposed so suddenly to direct sunlight. In the 12-month period of recovery since the storm, you can see that, yeah, we've lost the anthuriums. I've tried every makeshift arrangements I could think to increase the shade, but the trees, I guess trees do take a while. The sweetsop and in the background there, carambola, they're still not providing any shade. So rather than continue complaining, I've had to replant the area in plants that could take a bit more sunlight. And for the time being, we have a combination of ornamentals. And I think in due course, as soon as the shade comes back, we are going to repopulate with anthuriums. And that's the beauty of a garden. You have to react to circumstances and, I guess, refresh your design from time to time. It certainly helps if you can provide your own planting material. Bromeliad cuttings were taken from one of the focal beds, about 6 different varieties. And what I did was arrange them in sequence throughout the length of the border. So you'll see a collection of browns and yellows, and then repeat it as we go up the various series of beds. This redesign project was completed about 4 weeks ago. The plants selected, they're enjoying the additional sunlight, demonstrating yet again that a gardener has to be very flexible and be able to respond to whatever nature throws at him or her. Let's head on over to the second stop on the tour, which is our favorite place to relax in the garden. The first thing you're likely to notice is our version of a treehouse. It's a variegated ficus, one of the smaller types of ficus you can have in your garden, and it's been in this position for about 12 years. Don has been painstakingly shaping it into this lovely umbrella shape, which withstood the hurricane very nicely. So this is our permanent shade. And what makes a cozy spot, of course, is if you can keep it private. The best way to do that is to have a nice thick hedge. I'm sure you'd like to take a seat in this cozy corner right now, but it's time to move over to the area that contains the focal beds. Focal beds are those areas that are specifically designed to grab your attention as you enter a garden. The main focal bed in this area is long and narrow and overflowing with Vanda orchids and Bromelia plants. The orchids, they took quite a bashing during the storm and still need more remedial work, especially improved staking. Another point of interest in this section of the garden is this lovely set of 3 sago palms. There are quite a few rather large pups, rather overdue for removal. They make excellent propagation material, of course. The mother plants were established by the original owner of the property, so there is quite a bit of history associated with them. Let's move on down to the lower section of the front garden, which is devoted primarily to a collection of fruit trees. This is our mulberry plant. It replaced the West Indian lime, which was uprooted during the storm. And this you're looking at 1 year growth. Very impressive. We've reaped fruits from it, but I guess I'm waiting until it really has a much more visible presence in the garden to feature that. And next to the mulberry are our giant banana plants, almost fully recovered from the hurricane. There is the first bunch somewhere around the back there that should be ready in about 3 months' time. And moving on, just a quick glance of the compost heap. Yes, we compost in the front also. And from here, we will head on over to a lovely tangerine tree. It's the most fruits I've seen on this tree in the 4 years or so that it's been in this location. And I'm really looking forward to the fruits being ready to be harvested in about 3 months' time. And these trees benefit a lot from the attention I give to the amaryllis plants, which, as you can see, are all around. all around. This is a sweetsop tree. Hasn't born as yet, it's a juvenile. The pawpaw trees you can see here are not looking so well. We've reaped from them at least for 2.5 or so years. So I think the bunchy top has gotten the better of this one as well as the one. But we've been harvesting for quite a while, so it's time I find a replacement tree for the pawpaw. Lovely fruits, lovely shade. This grapefruit tree is about 10 years old. It stood up to the hurricane, but clearly it's not doing so well against the citrus greening disease. I'm at my wit's end now. They really don't survive once they've been attacked. So I've been struggling for the last 3 years. I think I'm at the point now I need to find another tree to put in this location. Let's move up the hill to the last stop of the tour. And we're looking at this collection of medium-sized shrubs and trees that provide vibrant color as well as excellent windbreak. There are quite a range of plants. There are bougainvilleas, hibiscus, crown of thorns, and many others. They do an excellent job softening the rocky outcrops and the stone terraces. This is a dwarfed June plum. Other places in the Caribbean refer to it as the golden apple. It provides us with delicious fruits year-round. And there's a view of the cozy corner again. Time to end the tour. This is where I choose to end the tour. It's really a pause because for those of you who love the tour, thank you very much. And I'm going to give you an extra 2 minutes or so after I've wrapped up so you can wander through the garden to the sound of music in peace. So before I do that, just like to thank you all for watching. For those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do so. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. But I'll just impart a few last comments. Now, those of us who garden know that a garden is an ever-evolving palette. Nothing ever should stay the same because nothing can stay the same. The year that we've had to work on the garden to recover those aspects that were affected, it was some of the most enjoyable activities I've done. It's like recreating. So we are not that disheartened, although you did hear me threaten the grapefruit tree because sometimes that works. If that has happened to you, leave us a comment. So thanks for watching. Please stay for the last 2 minutes of quiet solitude as we wander through the garden. Thanks for wandering through the Calyx garden with us today, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.